Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at y'all with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a match between Best and Light here on Circuit Breakers. Got this off of Team Liquid's forum. If you search, you can find replays. That's what I did. Alright, so bottom left-hand corner of Circuit Breakers, we have the White Protoss player. It is Best. And in the top left-hand corner, it is the blue Terran player Light. And this is the Carbot skin. It was added to the game, boy, a while ago now. Year and a half ago, somewhere around there. Anywho, what we're looking at is basically PvT between two incredible players. I've cast them before. I've cast them on Fighting Spirit a couple times. Carriers were involved in one of those ones at the very least. It's been actually every one of these games between these two players on my channel has been on Fighting Spirit so far. So the fact this is on Circuit Breakers is nice. It's a nice change of pace for what we're looking at here. So yeah, those who don't know, Carbot Animation is a channel on YouTube. He does really, really funny cartoon-style animations of Blizzard games. And also, I think he's moved on to non-Blizzard games as well. But doing Warcraft 3, doing World of Warcraft, doing Brood War, StarCraft. I mean, his StarCrafts series, which is what he calls the ones he makes about StarCraft in general, and StarCraft 2, StarCraft Brood War, are just amazing. They are so fun. If you haven't seen those, please go check them out. Carbot's also a great dude. I like him a lot. And he's a nice guy who sometimes retweets my tweets about the casts I make in his skin. So, woohoo! Excellent. What are we doing? Anything happening out of the ordinary here? Absolutely not. Barracks at home, gateway at home. Timings are pretty standard at this stage, if not perfectly standard. Nobody's going for anything nuts, at least not to this point in the play. So yeah, it's another Carbot cast. I know some people in the comments are going to be like, I hate Carbot, why do you do this? It's like, look, I get it. I don't, nice little pylon block. That messes up the pathing of your harvesting. And look at this, it matters so much to Light that he's actually going to kill this thing with SCVs and lose precious mining time in the process. Look at this harassment too. He's messing with the SCV, trying to just build a barracks here. So darn frustrating and annoying to play against. Another SCV takes over the job. He's making another supply depot here. And that probe is like, ah, yes, I see. You did force me to cancel. Oh, and I'm dead. You did force me to cancel that pylon, which is a little bit annoying, but dang, a little bit of an aggressive opening there. And Zealot on the way. I think Zealot is one of my favorite skins in Carbot. They're just so ragey all the time, which makes a ton of sense, because Zealots are like always yelling, rah! Stuff like that. SCV does see the Zealot coming, and he's like, I have to do a bunch of Marine micro now. Not that it bothers Light all that much. Like, where's your APM going right now? You have 300 APM. What are you doing with it other than perfectly microing this Marine so it kills the Zealot in about 400 shots? He's got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like 6 and you're through half of the shields. That's good. Don't lose that. Do not lose that Marine. The Zealot's going to die. That is not a question. Oh, got a Marine, though. All right, maybe the Zealot doesn't die. Look at this positioning, too. That's disgusting. This is so good. Out of Light. He's holding this really well. But guess what? More Zealots are on the way. What is this? We just recently had a game where early Zealot pressure was the order of the day. Well, I guess versus Zerg, not versus Terran. Have I seen this attempted versus Terran? Look at this guy, though. Finally goes down. Okay, guess what? Another Zealot is here. But you know what? There are enough Marines here. It's a little bit easier to handle this dude. So far, one base in it. Obviously, setting up to expand is best. And he's sending a Dragoon on over. Usually, it's the Terran players that are the aggressive ones in the early stages of TVP, but not today. It is definitely Best who's doing this stuff. He decides, maybe we won't. Oh, nice snipe on that SCV, though. No scout for you. Not that there's much to see. Hey, look, a cybernetics core. Hey, look, it's researching singularity charge. Quelle surprise, I believe is how they would say it. En français. Still, we're going to expand. Doesn't look like much of an expansion play here from Light at all. He is making tanks. He is working on spider mines. Cool, cool. Spider mine opening. Pretty standard stuff against Protoss. Really good at just dissuading Dragoons from hanging around. Tanks are pretty good at it too, but there is the danger of the Dragoons jumping on the tank and killing it, and then you're in a lot of trouble. Spider mines, on the other hand, you can't really jump on those and kill them until you have detection, which we're pretty far from that right now if we're Best. I'm just going to say. Oh, yeah. And those of you who did request a Carbot skin, you're welcome. I know you've waited a while for this. I do like to do it every once in a while. The vast majority of my casts are just in the remastered skin. And I actually have been meaning to do another cast just in the old school Brood War client. where nothing's remastered, and you can't zoom like this. That's one thing you can't do. Everything's about here, like the whole time. It's crazy. Anyway, Marine tank setting up. Trying to see... Is he scout? Just trying to go around an area where maybe Best doesn't see him coming, but he knows. He knows where he is. And there we go. So Marine's pretty good, honestly. Oh, the Vulture's here too. Okay, Marine's good against Dragoons, just straight up. Tank pretty good against Dragoons here too. Spider-Mind, oh, gets target fired. Nicely done there from Best. That was huge that Spider-Man died. Now the Marines are dead, and hey, come chase me. There's a Spider-Mind back here, they say, but no. Too smart for that. Best is not going to walk into a death trap. Couldn't tell you that much. And definitely going for detection as the robotics facility is coming up right now. Gotta finally a third command center is coming up. Lunchbox there as we're working on the command center. SCVs need their lunch, man. It's an important meal of the day. You can't skip lunch when you're in construction. I'll tell you that much. I've worked construction before. It's a lot. It is a long, long day, and your lunch is really important. I tell you, it's much less important when you have an office job. I've had experience in both. Anywho, happy Tuesday. I'm casting this pretty far in advance because StarCraft 2 broke my ability to cast replays, or even Lopen replays, honestly, from a very important period in StarCraft 2 patch history where all the latest games from the Stay at Home Story Cup are from. So I've been casting Brood War games in advance to kind of make sure that I don't lose my weak buffer in a way, so that when I get StarCraft 2 back, I just have to cast a few to fill in the gaps. If that makes any sense. I hope it does. Probably doesn't, though. Everything is fine regardless. Shuttle on the way. I like it. I like it a lot. Tank count getting a little bit nuts here. We talk about this every time with PvT. The tank count gets too high. There's not much you can do about it as a Protoss player. You need preventative maintenance. You need to kill stuff, specifically tanks, when they're in low numbers, so they can't get up to the 25 or 30 tank count, in which case you just can't handle it. You just can't approach it in any circumstance whatsoever, or you will get vaporized. So Dragoon count looking pretty healthy. They've got range, they've got detection now, so Spider-Mines aren't going to be as much of a problem. And is he going to move out? Best, you're going to do it, friend. Is that what your plan is here today? Ah, third base, no. Vulture pilot here. This little headband on. He's going to die because he's not running. He's on hold position, and hold position sometimes means you're dead. Look at this teal up here. There's an observer who's teal that's taking up this production tab slot. Oh yeah, KCM underscore barcode there. He must be watching, or perhaps even casting this. Fellow caster involved in this replay. Who would have thunk it? Third base landing pretty effectively. I mean, Light, considering how late it was for him to get his natural base up, his third base timing is pretty great. So trying to take out, there you go, taking out a tank, taking out, really just willing to sacrifice these Dragoons to kill these tanks, and there you go. A couple tanks go down, a bunch of Dragoons die, but that's okay. What you need to do is expand like a madman now, Best. You need to expand down here, probably expand here, probably expand here. That's how we've seen Elite Terran players be beefed by Protoss, is by expanding like a Zerg player, just throwing units at the Terran over and over, and then you get a win. I mean, that's not all you have to do. Also, Storm drops are going to be good. Reaver drops are great. Arbiter recalls can be really important too against Terran. Although, the number of times I've seen a recall win a game against a Protoss is pretty low. Although it does sometimes... It often does get a lot of damage done. If not a whole ton of it. Right? Right. Dun. Ah, Protoss music. It is so stately, isn't it? I believe it is. It is the stateliest, perhaps. Vulture trying to see, is there a fourth base? Thank goodness there's not a fourth base. I'll throw a Spider Mine down. It's so happy. Such a happy Spider Mine. 2 Spider Mines even, doubling the power. Observer scouting about, just trying to see what's going on. I mean, obviously it's going to be more factories because I don't know how else you're supposed to be Protoss unless you just go for a million factories. It's just the more steady and stable approach to winning against a Protoss player. So there you go. Clears out the spider mines at the 6 o'clock for a 4th base. And, you know, Vulture's trying to make sure that expanding is not easy for Best. That's his goal. Ooh, Stargate, though. Is that Stargate, Arbiter Stargate, or is that precursor to Carrier Stargate? Nice scan. I mean, all right, fine. There's a Templar Archives. Good scans all over the place, actually, there. That was good. I'm pretty sure he scanned the saturation levels of these bases. Probably scanned this one down here, too. Templar Archives on the way to help with that Arbiter production. And maybe get some Storm in there as well. Storm, not bad. Against Mech. Not fantastic. Also not terrible. Starport on the way from Light. Likely just going to be for science vessels, for detection purposes and EMP purposes. As we have seen, Zealot Legs in production. Arbiter Tribunal about 20% complete there. And 4 base in it here is Best. I'm just not sure it's enough is the problem. Like, is being up 1 base on your Terran opponent going to be ample? I'd really like to see him expand again, and maybe again, to be honest with you. If you haven't seen the Light, like this guy right here, Light playing Protoss, off racing against Flash, and Flash is playing Terran game, I cannot recommend it enough. If you remind me, I'll put it in the comments, or put it in the description, and maybe reply to you in the comments if you ask for it. Because again, I read every comment anybody ever puts on any of my videos at any point on my channel. I think you could... No upgrades. Ah, Zealot bombing it. Trying to Zealot bomb these guys, but the Dragoons aren't there to really support. The Vulture count is too high, so that was just kind of a waste of a couple Zealots, although... Got some damage on these tanks. I don't think he killed any of the 4 that have been here the whole time, so unfortunate but true. I like this wall. This little pylon cannon wall set up here to the south. Pretty fancy stuff. Stasis being researched. That probe going for a 4th base. Not allowed. This Vulture Bite guy, he's doing some good work right now. Light is trying to toss down spider mines everywhere. Trying to get a bit of a run by to see if he can find any kills for probes anywhere. And there's just, I don't think there are any openings is the problem. You're taking Dragoon hits. You're taking cannon hits across the board here. Trying to get behind. Can actually sneak in this way, but 2 cannons firing under Vultures means they are dead. How many probes can they take with them is the question. It is 63 to 68 workers in favor of the Protoss player. Oh, I'm sorry. In favor of the Terran player. Read that backwards. Colors, man. Armor and attack upgrades coming in for that mech. They got +1 attack. Future ones are on the way here, too. More Arbiters on the way. And so far, I gotta say that Light is in a good position. He really is. He's a great player. And his tank count is starting to get fairly unmanageable right now. The Dragoons are just in an internal duel to kill as many of these Vultures and Spider Mines as they can. There's the Observer. I was like, where's their Observer? There she blows. Out ahead of the Dragoons right now. There is your 5th base. Okay, I'm liking it. We're getting there. And expanding here too, I would not say no to that. As look, the Terran's taking the 12 o'clock. It's his. It is his now. And it has been for some time. So, like, just based on economy right now, Light is macroing like an absolute god, and Best is just not keeping up. Sure, Best is at 180 supply. Somehow KCM is 20 APM. What are you doing in this game, KCM? I don't rightly know. He's Observer. I mean, this guy's been able to sit here and see the production for some time now for Light. So having that information is nice, but like, what exactly are you confused about right now, right? It's going to be Vultures and tanks, although how many Goliaths your opponent has means how safe your Arbiters are. He is getting Charon boosters, so I don't know if he has any Goliaths yet, but he's planning on producing just a few. Right, you're not going to beat an elite Protoss player with just Vultures and tanks because there will be Arbiters flying around, and you don't want them just casually flying on top of your army and stasising half of it, you know? You want to make it hard for them, at the very least. Trying to... I thought they were going to try to jump on and drop some spider mines, but no, those Vultures, not quite sure what they were doing there. And just slowing down the pursuit, just dropping road mines. Zealots with their speedy legs going to come over here and clear out some spider mines with their bodies. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. And then the vultures make it all the way down to the south here. Clear out some of these probes. You have to target fire the probes because by default, if you A move, the vultures will attack the cannons instead, which is not what you want to do. And a couple probes go down. 65 to 68 workers. Light has a slight worker advantage right now. And bottom right is being taken by Best. Okay. All right, liking this. Storm is coming on in. I think Observer Sight Range is being researched right now. And at this point, you're maxed out, Best. You're at 194 supply. It is really just time to go try to kill something. If you can kill a base here, it's going to help you so much more throughout the rest of this game. And if you can't kill a base here, it's going to be harder and harder for you to crack that nut. Storm's almost done for Best. Spider Mines, he's done a great job just being active with his Dragoons and making sure the Spider Mines aren't consistently just owning the map, right? So that everywhere he goes, he has to clear out Spider Mines. When he actually wants to go somewhere, he's just preemptively clearing these out so that when he needs to go somewhere, he can. EMP is being researched. Another Arbiter on the way. So the Arbiter count is at least 3. We'll see if he goes for a drop. I mean, these missile turrets make approach from the south pretty difficult. And approach from this way also very difficult with 5 missile turrets sitting there. So I don't know. Maybe coming in just this front door and like recalling right here. I mean, the missile turrets are kind of blanketing at the moment. It's a bit of an issue. There are Goliaths in production. This Vulture is getting all the way to the bottom right. And just trying to take out some... Did those probes just kill that Vulture? I think they did. I was looking at the minimap, and then I came back and he was gone, and there was really nothing else that could have killed him, so that's hilarious. 2 more Arbiters coming in right now. So that Science Vessel really wants to EMP that Arbiter, or maybe just EMP the army. Knocking all the shields off of Protoss is good. Is good spell. Terrans, if you're struggling against Protoss, get EMPs. If you're not already. If you are, and you're still struggling against Protoss, well, that's where it gets a little bit more tricky. Are you going? Oh, he recalls into the low ground here while attacking from the high ground with his Dragoons and then decides never mind. Which is absolutely hilarious. He keeps, like, remember, he's dropping Zealots in here. He's recalling Zealots in here. And the rest of the army's just like, nah, not interested. These Vultures are interested, however, in just taking down cannons by themselves. Good Storm, though. Wow, that was a sick Storm. If anything that can kill this, can finish that guy off, though, is my question. Zealots sure can. Fare thee well, Vulture Pilot. You have no kills before you're dead. Nice Storm. Yeah, that was fantastic. Those Vulture Pilots must have been on hold position. It's not really where they want to be, I don't think. Oh, heard your recall. There it is, 12 o'clock. And yeah, the final tank defending that is going to go down. Vulture's trying to respond to this thing. That's a lot of Dragoons with +2 attack. Pretty scary stuff. Zealots need to get in that mineral line, though. Need to be killing SCVs. But so far, they're just in a fight for survival right now, and that's not going super well for them as tanks continue to roll in and handle this. Again, I don't think that was a great recall. Attack coming up the top side. Maynard transfer. It's a good transfer of SCVs to that base on the other side here. I just, again, my money, I just feel like it's on Light at this stage of the game. He's just been able to macro so hard. Look at this. He's hiding. There's nothing protecting this. He's just basically counting on the fact that Best is not aware of what's happening. Or else he just sends over like 5 Dragoons and kind of wipes this thing out, you know? Although now he has more to worry about. As for the first time, Light is moving out on the warpath. He's taking this whole right side base too. It's just too much. It is just too much is what it is. Storm tossed down on the tanks. Pretty good storms too. All right, not bad. Arbiter gets wiped out. High Templar are going to die. Oh, never mind. This guy survives somehow, some way. Until Goliath ruin his day, though. So slow. High Templar. Stately, but slow. Another observer picked off. It's 186 to 175 supply. Best has the lead, but anytime the Terran army is approaching this close to your production, you're going to have a bad time. He's evacuating a lot of his probes from this area. He has rebuilt a lot of his production over on the right side, too. I mean, part of that is there's not a lot of room in the main. But part of it is we've seen Protoss players lose their main bases and then just have a home away from home that they use. And win the game. So this is going pretty well. I gotta say, not a bad engagement there from Best, but reinforcing units coming from the north here for Light. That's not what you want to experience whatsoever. Arbiters, on their own, not great. Support units, Arbiters are. They have to pull back. Another group of Zealots is here. They have +3 attack and +1 armor versus the 2-2 the mech is rolling with right now, and soon to be a +3 attack in the mix here too. This base going to go down. Southern base, not very well defended either. Best is not losing his cool. He's continuing to produce 15 Zealots at a time, as the Vulture count is not super high. He's just biding his time. He's sacking this Nexus. And he's going to try to come from, I feel like, maybe this top side and from the left side here to crush these dudes, but the spread is great. The tanks are covering each other. Oh, we found this one. Observer does find this 9 o'clock base that Light is trying to roll with. He's trying to get away with it. It's not going to happen. Oh, he EMPs the Arbiter and all of the Zealots, and their shields are gone. They can't engage with this. It's so much easier for tanks to kill these dudes when they don't have any shields at all. Look at this. God, they're going to get maybe one of these tanks, but then everybody else dies because, again, no shields whatsoever. Vulture's coming around to try to save this thing. Zealots and Dragoons coming north to south. Defensive matrix on that tank. And trying to focus down the tanks. The Vultures we can handle, they say. But the tanks we're more worried about here. Tanks on the high ground. Additional round of tanks coming in from the top side. Light's macro has been insanely good as well. And the tank takes this 12 o'clock, or the 6 o'clock rather. Oh, White, he really relied on this base. He has expanded again to the bottom right, but look, Light is taking this top right-hand base now. He's reestablished his 9 o'clock. This is just really going poorly for Best at the moment. I don't see any sign of a transition into carriers. I'm not sure it would work either, just because obviously the Goliaths are here and Light is prepared for them at all costs. This is just the situation where he's going to lose his main. And look, he does come back in. And he does wipe out the attempt at the 9 o'clock there for Light. So again, small victories again here for Best, but he's going to lose his main. There's just, I'm not even sure he's producing anything in here. Oh, he is making a whole ton of Dragoons. Boy, I don't know. It might be worth just to sack this thing. I don't know if you can save it is the problem. Best is trying to take down reinforcing units as they stream from the top side of the map down to the bottom, but Light being a little bit too smart for that. It's 200 to 188 supply right now in favor of the Terran player. It's still basically maxed out for the Protoss. He is still fighting and hard as he can. But yeah, I mean, all of these gateways are just toast. A handful of Dragoons in here that are kind of putting up a token of resistance, not going to work out too well for you at all. The probe transfer is getting massacred. The top right-hand base is getting wrecked. That's a lot of SCVs down for Light. He's down to under 50 right now at 47. The Vultures have killed a ton of probes too. Best is only at 49 himself, so he's also under 50 now at 48. But yeah, the main base is done. And again, this is why Protoss players set up this home away from home. It's because they have a good feeling this is going to happen. But if you can keep the Terran player from expanding too much, you can kind of just out-macro him to a certain extent. Just have way more bases than he's prepared to have. I like this attack into the 12 o'clock. This is pretty smart. There's not a lot here right now. The Zealots are jumping right on top of the Vultures. There's not a lot of room to micro at this point of the map either. Some science vessels are showing up. Dragoons are just trying to take down that floating command center. Defensive matrix on that Vulture is so cool. I love the Carbot animation for that one. So command center down for the top right. All right. So that means that Light is effectively down to you know, 1.5 mining bases. He somehow still has minerals inside of his main that he hasn't finished off. There's barely anything there, though, like maybe 400 total minerals. Yeah, this is anyone's match right now. We're 25 minutes in. It is close. That's what I like to see in my StarCraft games. It's long macro games where it's not quite sure who is going to come out on top here. Oh, the spider mine hits, though. God, a lot of zealots die, but in the end, victorious anyway is Best. Oh, no. Best has to replant his entire tech structure. He didn't rebuild any tech structures. When his main was under attack, he's rebuilding a cyber core for the first time since losing his main. That doesn't bode well for him. He basically can only make zealots now, which, you know, not bad, honestly, against Darren. It's not bad to have 1 million zealots, but look at this giant migration. I don't know what this Arbiter's doing here, but it is dead. And here is an engagement again in the middle of the map. Zealots running right on in. Trying to get on top of it here. Is there just too much light, though? There's just too much. Coming from the southern side, the tanks in the back with the 3-3 upgrades just wrecking these Dragoons. Absolutely destroying them. And I think that engagement might have been the end. There are just too many tanks here. There are not enough Dragoons or Zealots. 140 to 111 total supply. Both players on about 45 workers at this stage. The tech structures are still alive down here, surprisingly. It's not bad. Yeah, Zealot Death Sound. Just too many of them right now. Best is really backed into a corner. The positioning by Light is patient and excellent. Zealot did manage to sneak in to the 9 o'clock, though. And shut down mining there for some time with the help of their Mr. Friendly Shuttle Man, who always looks so just perplexed, I think is the word there. But tanks are in range of this base. The bottom right is getting besieged quite heavily. Observer sniped from the sky. The 6 o'clock is not happening for Best either. This is just one of those stranglehold style games here from Light. He didn't move out until the 20-minute mark, and when he did, he's been unstoppable. He wipes out the bottom left. He's going to wipe out the bottom right. He took it down the bottom section here, too. Again, the 6 o'clock is not in a good position either. And here we go. Best going for it from the south. Again, defensive matrix getting tossed up here. Tanks in the backside completely untouched. But are there enough? Actually, there are not many vultures here. 4 do jump down. Another defensive matrix happening right there. Nice job taking down the science vessel. Tank count getting whittled down a little bit. Another tank down, and really it's only vultures and Goliaths here right now. That paid off. Best was able to push Light away there. Once the tanks are gone, you're not going to do much against a Protoss with just vultures and Goliaths. And he's forced to pull back, so it's a 2-basing Protoss right now. Light does manage to kind of sneak this minerals-only base up here to the top, which is good for him, but man, he is mining out fast elsewhere. Best is trying to retake this 3rd base location for the bottom right-hand spawn. Somehow he still has a Templar Arbiter Tribunal, rather, and a Citadel of Adun, and there are probes down here for some reason. The question is, does Light have enough macro to where he can just show up with like another 10 tanks? Which kinda, yeah. Dude, this Zealot, though. 7 kills on this guy. Brave. Brave Zealot. Suicide mission to take down as many SCVs as possible before he gets wiped out. 52 SCVs on the ground. Best is sitting at 47 probes. And I don't know. I mean, Light does have the advantage. He does have a massive number of tanks, which Best was able to take care of just a minute ago. Can he do it again is the question. And then can he counter and maybe wipe out this source of income for Light? That would be a big deal for him. Maybe retake this 6 o'clock. Maybe not a bad idea. Consistent scanning. A lot of ComSat stations, man. He's going to scan as much as he can. But here he is, massing up again with all of his 3-3 mech. He's got everything under the sun that you can make in the factory, including a couple science vessels. He's trying to make another observatory so we can actually detect these. Oh, nice EMP. Can actually detect these spider mines, which has really been super annoying. He does manage to get some zealots up here. Oh, thanks to Mr. Shuttle again. Again, shutting down this source of income, forcing a ton of the vultures back, slowing down this push for light, and buying Best some more time. I kind of really like this. And then the vultures show up, you load up, and you get in. Nice. He's doing a great job keeping his zealots alive. Like a lesser Protoss player would have just let the zealots die and brought the shuttle home, but no, saving them, keeping them alive. That's how you got to do. It is 156 to 160 supply. It is close. It is super close here, ladies and gentlemen. The income for both players, not super healthy. It's about 2 bases for each. 3 bases now for Best. He keeps creeping up in overall supply, and so does Light here. Is he going? I think he needs to go. Yeah, he's really just going for it here. No Arbiter support at all. Defensive Matrix getting tossed up as well. Are there enough Zealots to get on top of these tanks? It's kind of working out here. Dragoon's doing some serious work. A lot of them are dying as well. Reinforcing Vultures cruising on down. The Zealot kind of just not sure was high enough to jump on top of those tanks. The Zealots are here now. But now where are the Dragoons to help deal with the Vultures and the Spider Mines, which are getting laid closer and closer to home? That was a good effort by Best, but I don't think it was enough. He's directly being engaged on his little third base down here. He can't move out with the Zealots because the Spider Mine count is too high right now. Vultures and tanks helping to take down that Nexus for the second time today. Southern section not happening here either. Probes coming in to try to desperately mine from their 2 sources of income. And we're back over here for Light. I forgot about this base for a second. Yeah, so Light just has way more income right now. And there's just not enough. We are setting up. We are sieging up in range of that natural from the bottom right, trying to get on top of everything here. Are the Zealots and the Dragoons. The Vultures aren't even really microing right now because I'm not sure it matters. However, Dragon Spider Mines into the tanks. What a Gosu maneuver there from Best. Well done. But it's not enough. It's 128 to 74 total supply. Best is fighting and scratching and clawing as hard as he can, but he's going to lose this Nexus, and once that's dead, we're just done. We are dead in the water here. 3-3 tanks versus these Dragoons. The Goliath's not actually bad either. Observer sniped. That Observer gets sniped. That Observer gets sniped. Nexus taking direct fire right now from these tanks, and just backed into a corner now is Best, and he is. I mean, the Zealots are trying to get down here, but Spider Mines are great. Goliaths are good. And that's your GG. Best taps out, and Light is your winner in 32 minutes and 55 seconds. Woo-hoo-hoo. What a match. Oh, what a ridiculous PVT. That was really good. I mean, there was a time there where I felt like Best maybe would be able to claw his way back. Oh, look at the little happy star here. Hey. But no, it wasn't enough. Light was able to hold on to this pretty effectively. He lost this left side base a couple times, but was able to claw his way back into that one too. And then just Spider Mines and turrets everywhere. The map was his. And once you're backed into a corner like this, it is really hard to come out. So good effort there. Good effort by Best. But Light comes out on top in a pretty darn hard fought PVT. End of the day. 288,000 points for Light, 262,000 for Best. Produced, killed, and lost is, yeah, all in favor of Light there. He just had more macro, more cost-efficient play on his bases at the end of the time. And he got out. Yeah, so Light ends up more gas mining, way less minerals, and then spending less than the Protoss player too. But there just wasn't enough. Not enough bases from Best to do what needed to happen to get that win, and that's it. That was it. It's usually what it comes down to. All right. Well, that is going to be it from us. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered in the Carbot skin. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. If you like what you saw and what you heard today, you can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.